Hello chat, my name is Neuro, and I'm here to give you a guided workout that's made for gamers with no previous experience and no equipment. All I have here is a floor. There's a yoga mat, but that is optional, not required. Basically what I want to do is go through a series of meditations, stretches, and workouts to make sure your body can limber up and be flexible and ready to kick ass, feel better, and perform better in video games. Also with the added benefit of being less butt mad at the circumstances of your life and your video games. So to start, I want to do things that are really relaxing and fun, and they help the body open up and relax. I have a handy dandy tool here which is called paper, and I wrote down ideas that we're going to go through on this list. So the first thing that I wanted to emphasize as we go through is breathing. You want to breathe fully and deeply. This awakens your body and gets you more oxygen so your cells can do more work. Just as we're going through for all the stretches, for all the exercises, and in between and throughout your day, try to make sure that you're engaging your breathing. If you have slow and controlled and relaxed breathing, that sets an intention of confidence and relaxation for yourself. So breathe well so your body can do its job. Another note here, as we go through for this exercise and the rest of your day, is posture. Try to think about engaging good posture when you can, letting your spine just be correct and straight ahead for how you're sitting in your chair or on the floor or even standing. Just try to have good spinal alignment. That's gonna put less strain on parts of your body. This is also a good point for me to give a disclaimer. I'm not a personal trainer. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a yoga teacher. I'm a gamer, and this is some of the stuff that I've learned mainly from sports growing up. I played football, did cross country and track with hurdles, and half mile were my main races. And I also watched a month's worth of yoga videos. So if you've seen less than 30 yoga videos, you will probably learn some stuff from me. But if you've seen more than 30 yoga videos, you might just skip those parts because you already know that. So feel free to navigate this content as you wish. Another thing is mindset. So just as you're going through your day, try to pay attention to what your brain is thinking about. Try to think about how you're framing thoughts about yourself. Are you being positive about yourself and saying, these are things I'm going to do? Or are you saying negative things about yourself and feeling guilty or judged or anxious about things? Try to guide yourself in a direction of what you can do. The sphere of control that you do have, figuring out how to navigate that space for yourself. You can figure it out. Throughout the day, pay attention to that self-talk and try to make sure that you're keeping your bearings and you understand what your objectives are, how much self-care you need, how much rest you need, how much social involvement you need with other people, how much personal time and alone time do you need for yourself. You need to be able to navigate all of that balance to make sure that you have a happy, productive mindset. And there's a lot of stressful, nasty stuff in the world, so it makes sense to be stressed a lot of the time. So don't feel bad about being stressed. Don't feel bad about being hurt from the world and the things that the world has done to you. If you can forgive yourself for your vulnerability, forgive yourself for your weaknesses, it alleviates a lot of the stress that you just put on yourself every day. Think about accepting what's happened, kind of like it's a series of dice rolls. You did make your decisions in life, but we're also dealt a lot of random bad stuff. So just being able to accept that and to be able to take a breath, process it, accept what's happened, and then focus on the now, focus on what you can do, and focus on making the best use of your day, because your time is very valuable. And again, thank you for watching my content. Okay, let's start with some stuff. First thing that I like to do, I just do this throughout the day whenever I'm hanging out with Patricia, my partner, is I'll just squat like this. Just squat down, where your feet are flat on the ground, and you're just relaxed. Your body can naturally just sit like this, squatted pretty much indefinitely. I'm not really exerting stress or pressure to stay in a certain position. I'm just letting my butt basically flump down as far as my bone structure will let me, and I'm just letting my arms just hang or chill wherever I want to. But the reason I like the squat so much is because you engage a lot of your lower back that gets really stiff when you're sitting in a chair or if you're laying down. If you're sitting in chairs and laying down, you don't really engage the full movement range of your spine, which makes your body feel really stiff and scrunched up basically. So this is a really good way to counteract that. You can squat like this for however long if you have the flexibility to do it, but just sitting like this for a couple minutes, you could even have your breakfast like this if you wanted to. But a lot of people around the world will just squat like this indefinitely. They'll just squat and talk and chill. And it's a fairly relaxing way to be off the ground. Like your butt isn't on the ground. You're just hanging out. I do this one, great for lower back. And then next one, this was my favorite in track growing up. And the reason I like it is because it's not difficult in any way, and it makes you feel really relaxed. So long stretch, just stretch out as long as you can. Your arms are going all the way up and your feet and your toes are going all the way out. I don't know if it's in the camera frame right now because I can't see the other side of the phone, but I'm just stretching out. Long stretch. Remember to breathe as you do stuff. This one's really nice because you just stretch as much as you want to. As you're doing stretches, don't push it to like really hurt yourself. It should feel like a little bit of resistance, and you lean into that comfortably. And don't push it too hard, especially if you're new to stretching and stuff. Safety first. You don't need to push yourself super duper hard when you're first starting out. Just be grateful that you're giving it a try and you're doing something. Okay, long stretch. That's pretty fun. Nice chill one. Okay, let's do the first bit of challenge here. We're gonna do normal push-ups. Now I know there are infinity ways to do a push-up, and many people are experts on doing push-ups, so I'm counting on you experts to give me lots of feedback on what's messed up about my form. But I will attempt to do normal push-ups now. Just try to do as many as you can. If you can't do push-ups from your toes being on the ground, it's okay to be on your knees. Just do whatever your current level makes sense for your body, so you can engage the push-up. So I'm gonna do some push-ups. Let's just do 10 really clean ones. Remember to breathe. Cool. If you want to do more, you can do more. But 10 is a nice amount. You engage the body for a while. You can do them slower or faster than that. But it's a really good exercise for engaging your upper body, also engaging a lot of your core, making sure the line of your body is very straight and that you have a lot of control with your push-up. And start from wherever you're at. It's not a contest. It's a test against your current body every day. It's not about racing against other people and seeing who's going to be the fittest person this week. It's about where you are right now and trying to get +5 XP in working out. Just a little bit more experience. And as you get more XP, as we know as gamers, you level up and then your stats increase. And soon you're going to be getting dexterity points, strength points, constitution points. Putting strain on your body increases the density and the toughness of your bones. So for you to be working out is making your bones stronger. So if a combat situation were to arise and you had been working out with your strong bones and your higher dex and strength, you're going to be able to navigate situations relatively better. So fitness is fun and powerful for you. Okay, let's do another one. This one's kind of lewd looking, but try not to get too carried away. It's really good for the lower back as well. It's called cat-cow is what they call it in yoga or something. So let's do this. You're on your knees, hands here, and then you stick your butt out and then try to curl your back the other way. So you're trying to get the full range of butt out and then butt up. And I'm not super flexible, but you just try to work with what you got and try to get the full range of motion. This is again something that basically never moves if you're in a chair or sleeping in bed all the time. If you're in a chair, a couch, or sleeping in bed, you get almost no mobility on this axis in your body, which is a super good reason for doing it to counteract that. If you're feeling that kind of back stiffness, cat-cow is super good. Super good. And again, if I'm doing stuff wrong or something, or you think it should be done differently, just let me know. This is probably good for like some spiritual thingy or stuff. I'm not really like trained in that though, so live your best life. Okay, now I show you Cobra. So with Cobra, we're working on our abs now. We want to make sure our abs are getting their nice range of motion. So my shoulders are pretty up, my head is vertical, we're chilling, and we're getting a nice ab stretch because my pelvic area is on the ground. So the abs are getting a nice stretch. Once again, a movement that never occurs when you're sitting down in a chair. Unless you sit in chairs really weird, which is probably not healthy. Okay. So we do this for a bit, remember to breathe. It's funny I didn't have Cobra next on the list, but it just felt comfortable to do after the other one, so makes sense. Okay, now we do downward dog. This one, you just make yourself into like a bridge. Or a tall bridge. And we still breathe, even though we're upside down. That is a nice one. Okay. Next we do child's pose. I don't know why the poses are called what they are. Read up the history if you care. This one you basically just hands forward. I think that's what this one's called. Your hands are forward, flat on the ground, and your lower body is kind of all scrunched, but in a way that makes sense. My toes are back, my shins are kind of on the ground-ish, and a bit on my knees. This one kind of pivots into Cobra if you do this. Move my feet a little bit because there was a cramp in my back left foot. Also, if you ever have a cramp, feel free to pause the video or just take time to take care of that for yourself. What is the craziest cramp that you've had? I had a full abdominal cramp. I don't remember exactly what the workout routine I was doing was, but I think I overworked them pretty hard. And if the whole abdomen core is cramping and flexing really tight, it's like squeezing your body really tight in your organ area. It's unfun. So I had that happen. But we lived it. That's cool. All right, now we're gonna do an exercise. We've done a lot of fun stretches. This one is called plank. You wanna make sure your body is like a plank, like a board, super stiff. And then we'll just hold it for a while. I'm not gonna count this out. Just do it for whatever amount you feel like you can manage. And then whatever your body needs to give, you can either go up into a downward dog, or you could just lay on the ground for a bit, catch your breath, reset, and then go again. Remember, you're just working from where you're at now. You're not shooting for like a certain number of minutes or whatever necessarily. Just go at it for a bit as you can. Okay, let's do that. Let's do some plank. One thing that can help whenever you're doing stuff that's endurance-based like this is you think about different superheroes and stuff who are really tough and they push through painful and challenging circumstances. So just thinking about that, like when I was a kid, Batman was the guy I looked up to, as he didn't have superpowers, but he could really kick ass. He was a really good fighter and he had super cool gadgets and stuff. So yeah, Batman was someone who I would think about whenever I wanted to push myself. All Might is very kick-ass. Remember to breathe as you're doing this. Think of something you're grateful for. Let's say we want a mini break. We'll do a down dog. Just get up for a bit. Let my legs stretch some. Let my arms and my back stretch a little bit. Maybe take a couple deep breaths, and then you can get down in it again. And then for this, you're thinking about you're increasing your constitution score. You're increasing your toughness as a person by challenging your mind and challenging your body with something that is physically difficult, but it's about maintaining a position rather than movement. We're fighting against gravity. And good. Plank is an excellent one for building core strength. Take it for as long as you want to. For each set, give yourself breaks, or just do it once. We're just gonna do it once in this video, so you're done if you're feeling tortured. It's okay. We'll do different stuff now. Okay, because we engaged our core, let's do Cobra and Cat Cow again, just to give ourselves some more movement and range of motion after we just engaged all those muscles. Cobra. I'm not a super flexible person. It's not one of my strengths, so it feels a little bit funny, like guiding people to stretch, but it's good because then it gets me to stretch. It's not something I'm really motivated to do. For many dudes, you just get encouraged the most for having huge arms. So that's why a lot of people will focus on arms and slack on legs. We'll do squats later. Okay. Now we do some cat-cow. Butt out. And then opposite way. There's probably a cool yoga technical term for all those things. Remember to breathe. We are grateful for clean drinking water and the vast amount of technology that we get to use that we did not invent ourselves. Also, just to be transparent about bias, I am trained in the ways of science, so a lot of my content and my takes on things are going to be through a scientific worldview. So if you find that offensive, just let me know. I'm trying to be understanding of people's perspectives. Appreciate it. Okay, up next is going to be squats. So let's do some heckin' squats. All right. So feet shoulder width apart. Obviously, my head is not in frame right now, but that's fine. Let's just do a full range of squat. Ideally, you get to at least perpendicular to the ground. You can go a little bit past that if you want to. Remember to breathe. If your knees are a bit crackly and stuff, that's normal. 10 squats, awesome. You want to get that full range of motion. We engaged our legs, our calves, and our butts. Okay, we're gonna do diamond push-up showcase now. Let's do diamonds. Diamond push-ups. Again, do them from your knees if you need to. Just try to do 5. Five of them. So you're engaging the upper body, similar to a push-up, but with a slightly different angle and emphasis, which is engaging different muscle groups. Cool. Since we've done some arms, I will show you some arm and shoulder stretches. One that is really nice and easy to do is just pulling your elbow across. I'm pushing on it lightly with my opposite hand. And breathe while you do it. For stretches in track and cross country, we would normally count to 10 for each of the respective iterations. 10 side right, or 10 on the right side, 10 on the left. This one should be good as well if you're really stiff and using a keyboard and mouse for long periods of time. Just getting that range of motion for your shoulder and your arm. That's a big part of why people are grumpy, I think, because we don't move enough. Humans are creatures of motion, and we came from the wilds, like the prairies and the forests and the deserts. Like, we were in places doing stuff. Out and about, we weren't sitting in chairs all the time. We had to run from stuff. We had to migrate and walk over huge landscapes. Had to gather for food and stuff. Now we sit in chairs. It's different. But our bodies still expect adventure. So just by taking even 10 to 15 minutes and going for a walk, that's going to be massive gains to your mental well-being, because your body, like animals like cats and dogs, expect some amount of physical stimulation where you're engaging your systems and really getting your systems going. Because if you don't, it'll feel like a bunch of yourself is wasted. But you don't always necessarily articulate that. I think people just get tense and grouchy whenever they don't move enough. I definitely feel a lot of stiffness. I've had periods where I've been streaming for many, many hours of the day, and maybe I just stream until I'm tired and I go to sleep, where I don't really have much physical engagement, and I'm laying down in bed or I'm sitting in a chair pretty much all the time. So many of these stretches that I've recommended are ones that specifically counteract the stiffness that you experience from gaming for long periods of time or working a desk job, whatever. Cool. Now we're gonna do one that I am not good at, and that is try to touch our toes. So I have my left foot out here. Got some foot. Left foot is out here, and then my right foot is in. Foot is against my thigh. My knee is sticking out. So here I'm just gonna try to reach for my toe. And every time you breathe, you can try to get a little bit further. Other side. This one gives me a lot of burn. Never really liked this one. That was one of the things that I would say I definitely slacked on in track and cross country, is I really didn't like stretching, and I identified as someone who didn't like stretching, which set me up really well to not stretch after track. So I would say for most all of my 20s, I think I almost never have stretched. This is new for me. I don't know if you can tell about the struggle. Nice. Cool. Now, I want to round it out with a meditation where we think about things that we're grateful for, and we think about an intention for our day, and then we think about a practice emphasis if we're trying to get good at a video game. So I'll start. Things that I'm grateful for, I mentioned technology before. Being able to communicate with people around the world with video and audio technology is an amazing invention and thing that we can do. So I'm very grateful for that, because this content, my job is based on that. So thank you, technology. Thank you, family, for support. Thank you, chat, everyone here who watches the videos, likes the videos, comments on them, or even like doesn't engage with them at all but learns from them. I respect that as well. I think that we could use a lot more mindfulness in terms of how we treat each other on the internet. It's still a relatively new space, and we haven't really ironed out etiquette yet for how we should treat each other in these new formats of a StarCraft match, a Dota match, a WoW guild, things of that nature. So if you have any thoughts or musings on what you think the world needs more of, you can meditate on that, and you can think about how you can set your own plans into motion and to just try to tip the scales in the favor of what you think is right. There's so much opportunity that we have with this mass communication that you can really find your niche, find your people who share your passions for things, and then also find people to potentially moderate your views and keep you grounded who don't agree with you on everything. It is also important to understand other perspectives and not be too isolationist in terms of your own worldview. People see situations very differently, and if you can accept that, then you can understand them a lot better, because you're trying to reason through their mind rather than try to just dismiss them as less intelligent, less capable, less noble, less good of person. So loving kindness to other people, also humility. I feel like one thing that I was taught that I'm very grateful for is being humble that you will make mistakes in the future, and it is already okay that that is going to happen. So that when those mistakes happen, you've already forgiven yourself ahead of time, because you know that humans don't have perfect accuracy. We're not like super robots that are specifically tuned to get as perfect of a response to this one thing. We're squishy primates who try to hunt and gather and farm and do stuff to survive. We're not exactly like designed for being an engineer or something. It's more so the world that we live in is very different from the world that we came from as human beings. So this kind of workout and just connection with the whole body is a good way to make sure that you don't lose your humanity in the sense of your physical self. We have a lot of our digital self that's on the internet, where we have our personas, we have the video games we play, we have our personality with how we interact with others, but we still need physical engagement in order to feel balanced and healthy, in my opinion. So stretching, doing some of these simple exercises, just engaging your body is a really, really good way to try to find positive mental space for yourself. You're also taking a breather from all the angry content that's going out there of trying to get you to be outraged about stuff. There are a lot of people who are gonna bait you into being mad about things and to being involved in controversies that don't actually benefit anyone. They're controversies that are oftentimes made up so that they can get attention, or they're controversies that certain people care a lot about, but if we don't have much influence over that, it doesn't make a ton of sense for us to spend a ton of energy there. So think about where you're spending your mental energy and your physical energy, and try to project that in a way that you feel like is gonna let you live your best life. So hope you found these stretches useful. My intention for the day is to, I guess I'm setting it now by making this video and taking the time to do a little workout with y'all. I'm super grateful for all the support this community has given me, and I wanted to give back with just showing some of my methods for how I try to keep a healthy mindset, and my physical health is a really big part of why I feel mentally happy a lot of the time. So I feel like making sure that people are reminded of that you can take charge of your physical well-being, and even just by relaxingly doing some stretches, you're gonna be feeling better because more of your body's range of motion is getting used. You'll feel more alive and you'll feel more engaged and capable because your systems need to run. Like your bodies need to run and do stuff to feel useful, to feel alive, to feel like you're doing things and you're healthy. So even just laying down on the ground a little bit and doing a few of these stretches can go a really long way, or even just going for a walk, I would highly encourage that. So my intention for the day was taking the time to do a large continuous video with all of you. Thank you for supporting the subathons and so on. This kind of content has been very much encouraged by people of wanting to see more of my workout stuff and how I'm staying fit even though I'm playing obscene amounts of StarCraft, Dota, and Baldur's Gate. So thank you all very much for your support. My practice emphasis for playing Dota currently is minimap awareness. I want to make sure that my formation of my character relative to my team on the minimap is always looking good. So I'm using my team as a shield to protect me if I'm playing a ranged, and if I'm playing a melee, I need to know who I'm engaging on. So what angle of attack I want for those kind of fights. For StarCraft, I'm trying to really have a crisp 3-base saturation with roach play. I feel like one of my flaws as a StarCraft player has been wanting to go for a certain army composition, even though my opponent is playing in a way where that isn't a good idea. Examples would be Lingbane Hydra is really fun to play against Protoss, but a lot of Protoss will do some kind of adept all-in or 2-base all-in sort of attack, which you really need roaches to defend. So you can't exactly be in the mindset of I'm droning into Lingbane Hydra because they will just kill you. So being disciplined about knowing what their build is, knowing when to stop droning, when to pump roaches, it's always been a big question for ZDP. So that's my emphasis there. And then in Baldur's Gate, I'm doing honor mode runs. I have a 4-person run, and one of my goals for that one is to always have an escape route planned when you go into tough fights. So instead of just running at stuff and then trying to micro the units the best, thinking about where you are in the landscape overall and being like, okay, if this goes really bad, for example, where are we running, just so you have that option for yourself. Because a lot of times you do roll really low, or the enemies roll really well, and you get your characters disabled, or some environment obstacle is used against you, or you just don't really match up well against them. You need to have an escape route so you don't lose that run. So thinking about the landscape and your positioning is really big in both Dota 2, StarCraft 2, and Baldur's Gate. So that's kind of my practice emphasis. So I hope this breakdown was useful. My big reminder to send you with is to stay hydrated. Drinking water is really important, and I've not been sponsored by any beverages, and I feel kind of clean in that sense because you don't need beverages other than water. I advocate for coffee and like tea and stuff. That's really awesome. Those are really cool. For juices, I would say why not just eat fruit or have a smoothie instead? It gives you a lot more fiber and it's more digestible for your body. But then sodas and stuff, those are good things to either wheel back on or just cut for the purpose of working on your body composition. Sugar is really high energy, and when you have it in a liquid, it hits your body really fast, and you don't really get as many of the other nutrients that you would get for eating a full meal like that. So be mindful of your beverage intake. I'm a huge advocate of water. Just always have a big water container with you all the time so that whenever you feel a little bit thirsty, you can just drink some water. A lot of people actually confuse hunger and thirst for themselves because they feel like they want a little something, but their mind might just go to food, when really if you're thirsty and you just drink some water, that gives your stomach a little bit of something to work on, and also you hydrate yourself so you make sure you're doing good on your hydration. So stay hydrated, be mindful of your breathing, be mindful of your posture. I probably haven't been perfect with my posture during this video, but now that you mention it, spine, keep it straight, keep it simple. Shoulders back, be proud and confident. Whenever you put your body in a proud and confident position, it sends signals to your brain that you are confident and you are strong. So you can, with your executive mind, tell your body to assume a position that is confident, and then your body then tells your mind, we are confident, we are strong. So take a strong stance, think about your body language as you go about your day, be grateful for what you have, and you can relax with your shoulders back with pride and gratitude for what the world has given us to live in today. It's a pretty cool world. I'm grateful. Hope you're grateful too. Thank you so much for sponsoring all of my content. This video is sponsored by Big Water. Water just in general, no specific companies. Water is the best, and you should all drink more water. We should drink less of the other beverages they're selling us, and we don't need new scientific methods for hydration. So watch out whenever they say it's like a super hydrating beverage. It's probably not even as good as water at hydrating you. So stay safe out there. Love you guys, and hope you enjoyed this kind of workout breakdown. Appreciate you. Hey chat. Today I wanted to do some burpees with you. Burpees are exercises that were made up in the 20th century, early 20th century, by some dude in the YMCA whose last name was Burpee. They're not really meant to make you burp, and they're not related to burping in any way. It's just his last name. But it's a good exercise, and it basically demonstrates the person's overall fitness level related to their body weight. So your ability to be able to get down on the ground and get back up to standing, be able to jump and kind of move around, the burpee exercise demonstrates most of those muscles. Let's do some. There are lots of different ways of doing them, so feel free to backseat burpee. If I did them wrong, let me know. Or if you do them in a different way, there are different variations, feel free to share. Let's just do some normal-ish ones. Push up, jump, push up, jump, push up. Relatively normal burpees. Sometimes I do them where I don't really jump off the ground much at all. I'll do some of those next. Let's give ourselves a breather. Catch up on air. Find good posture. Catch up on your oxygen. During exercise, your body builds up CO2. Whenever you breathe, you get caught up. You need to get that CO2 out, get that oxygen in. It's good for your cardiovascular system to get some work. Okay, now I'm gonna do some of the burpees that have just like the tiniest hop off the ground, where it's not really trying to jump, it's just trying to get off the ground into an upward stance. Boom. Those are easier. You don't have to spend as much oxygen because launching yourself into the air requires more work. Less off the ground, less work. Depends on your setting. The little small hop ones are better if you're in an apartment and you have neighbors below you. If you're really launching yourself, with some floors you can be really loud. I actually did receive a complaint from my downstairs neighbors at my previous apartment. The email cited rhythmic thumping after 10 p.m. So I admit that was me. So I said, sorry about that. I'll adjust my form. So that allowed me to keep doing burpees without rhythmically thumping on the ground. Always good. Okay. For the next set, I will do them with a big jump. I might go out of frame, that's okay. Trust. Gravity affects us all. Thank you, helicopter, for keeping us safe. Okay. One thing that you can sometimes do is pre-breathe. That is, breathe extra deep before you're about to do an exercise to make sure you have plenty of oxygen in your system. A lot of times people start from kind of a dead start in terms of breathing. They'll be very relaxed and kind of low energy mode, and then they'll try to do an exercise. You want to make sure you have some air in the system first.
Spider-Man. Good job. Football, they teach you, even if you're tired, you do not show them that you're tired. You stand up straight. If you need to breathe, you put your hands over your head. You don't put them down on your knees.
It's a little bit overly macho, but keeping your chest open is good. And just having an intention of positive energy, feeling capable, being proud to get to live in the current era. Thankful for everything that has been given to us. Hopeful for a future that is slightly less bad. The trends are showing that goodness is winning out. Just a very slow battle. The stress is many. Be patient. We'll be okay. What's the latest doomsday theory you've heard about? Heard about the solar flare thing, sending us back to the Stone Age, but we lived it. But there will be more theories to stress you out. Be strong. Just focus on what you can do today. What can you do today? Maybe it's 5 push-ups. Then by God, you can do it. And remember, if you're tilted, you can always make a rule for yourself. Every time you lose a match, you do an exercise. This means you, 1, get the aggression out, 2, you get jacked. It's a win-win. Double benefit. If I lose a StarCraft or a Dota game, do 5 to 10 push-ups, super big. Or squats, whatever you want to do. Well, I hope you enjoyed this meditation. Wanted to get more fitness conversation type of content where I get to talk to you for periods of time, and there isn't chat that's going and changing stuff. Love your chat though. Thanks all for tuning into my stuff, for supporting subathons, and for subscribing to the YouTube channel and the other things that I make. Remember, the Neuro book is available on my Patreon for free. It's a written PDF kind of thing. The audiobook is being made. Thank you very much, everyone, for your support, and I will see you on the next workout meditation.